It's the aesthetic. Hebu acha tupee nini. No, mi niko, audio yangu iko, haiko.
Okay.
Sawa.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Acha nikuulize, what's the biggest lesson unafeel umelearn up to this point in life?
You really said you are starting on a high note. I'm on the end note. Okay. Biggest lesson. My biggest lesson, also I think mantra, is I am growing and I know better, so I need to keep doing better. When I know better, I do better.
There's this notion and theory nimesikia from different people that your 20s are fucked up, hard. Okay, what's nini unaweza sema kuhusu your 20s, like the 20s so far?
Oh, 20s, I can say. First of all, like the greatest period, like I've gotten the greatest connections, the greatest friends, the greatest career path. Like I love what I do. I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing. Also, the 20s have been a great learning point. Like I feel it's the point where unafika. It's no longer at how you were raised, ama your life experiences. You've gotten to a point where you are experiencing life on your own, like, with your own accord. Like you have the luxury of kulearn vitu na kuunlearn vitu. So I feel like that has been the biggest part of it, like learning and unlearning, and then experiencing life in being a different person, in like different versions of myself, like where I was at 20, 21, 22, 23, like all different people. And yeah, it's amazing.
How was your childhood?
Fun, I would say. Outdoorsy, very outdoorsy, very. I loved growing up in shags, rivers, very many friends, going to school as a bunch of people. It was fun, yeah. I would say it was fun. Also, I got so much like exposure. Like I think outdoors is a big part of my life. So much I used to do a lot of outdoor things with my dad. So yeah, so fun. Like a bunch of parks, a bunch of touristing. Yeah, anyway, so it was fun. Yeah, my childhood was fun, basically, I would say. Obviously, not without its fair share of, being a child. I mean, nani ataka kuamka kwenda shule?
Unafeel experiences and the life you lived as a child, it may influence your life right now?
Oof, big time. I feel like I am 100% who I am today because of what I have experienced. Like there are so many things that gave me so many different habits. Some out of reaction to like things that happened in my life, but some out of learning from the people I grew up around. So yeah, both ways it has had a big impact.
So let me sway kidogo. There's this thing, I don't know, I think I've had it's childhood traumas and childhood, because I know it goes both ways, childhood traumas and childhood beauty things, the goodness and sijui opposite ya childhood trauma ni nini. Una feel hizo vitu zenye ulikuwa nayo ukiwa mkidi, kuna zenye imebidi unlearn na kako nayo, like for example ni nini yenye growing up was so impactful in your life but you've been forced to unlearn it, and are there some that you are unable to unlearn and you're still working on?
Yeah, so I think there's one that's like, I think, a double-edged sword for me. So growing up for the longest time, I was an only child. So, and I grew up in sort of, at some point my parents were kind of away, but they're there. I mean, they're present, but I mean work was adulting. They had to feed me somehow. So some of those experiences made me like very independent, which for that effect, I went to boarding school pretty young. Like I was, I think about 8. So I had to be independent early on in life. So which meant that a lot of things were in check. Like I just had to make sure things are done. But also more to it, it also, going to boarding school at that early age made me live in routine. Because, I mean, school is structured, but then when you add boarding school to it, it reduces lesser freedom of expression. So I've lived in routine like most of my life, basically, because school is routine. And I mean, I've studied up until pretty recent. So that in itself is a double-edged sword. So one, it's hard for me to like, it was hard, let me say was hard for me to like allow people to help me, allow others' opinions of like, because you feel like I need to have control of this situation. So a lot of it is very, like, I already have it figured out. I don't need so much help. And I had to learn now. That's half of it. I had to unlearn this behavior because I realized obviously sometimes you need other people's impact. And also, imagine sometimes delegating is just so helpful. Like, it's easier. Also on the same, but the good side of it, that's why I say double-edged. Being independent and learning like to get my things on track has helped me so much on life because I feel it gave me so much discipline at the same time that I learned to stay on track on already things that I'd focused to do. And I know how to get things done, basically. And yeah, so it's like a two-side, but that's like the biggest one that I had to like actively unlearn. And also like learn its benefits and know when to draw the line, when like, okay, now I need to ask for help. Like the independence, imefika, let's ask for help now. So yeah, that's like I think my biggest one.
So saizi professionally unadu?
So professionally, I'm a medical physicist by profession, medical physicist by profession. So sounds girly, innit? Yeah.
Education wise umefika?
So education, hapo kwa tule two boxes. I usually take postgraduate.
So let me ask if you're comfortable. Are you comfortable saying your age?
Yeah.
So how old are you?
I am 25 and a half.
So let me ask you, do you feel like you have it figured out?
Oh, no.
Accounting for the fact that professionally, uko point yenye uko, education wise you uko 25 and you have your masters. On paper you have it figured out. Yeah. On Instagram tuko like, okay. Unaweza tupatia the variance between koi IG na koi real life.
Yeah. So I think obviously everybody like on social you share like the nicer the like your happy moments and the top moments, and then like if it's pictures you're picking the best quality ones, the ones that you like and the ones that, but I feel like my Insta portrays different versions of like all the things I love. So that's what is on my Insta. And but why I don't have it figured out is because every day I learn that every day I am learning, and every day is like a different experience. So with who I was yesterday, I learned like something today, and then tomorrow I'll be a different version of myself. So you can't literally have it all figured out unless you've gotten to a point where you're stagnating and you don't learn like anything new. But new experiences keep coming. Obviously, like professionally on paper, it looks like, it makes sense. Like financially, it would make sense. But then there are things that you keep growing, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like those are things you keep figuring out every day, because sometimes you find that the things that were serving you yesterday are not serving you today. So you kind of have to keep growing. So yeah, every day you are figuring out new shit, man. Or also even professionally, I still have to keep learning, man. That sucks. Science sucks, man. I mean, it's cool, but yeah.
Acha nikuulize, when you're 20, when you're 20, if I ask you, what is worth it in life? Like, nini inafanya kubede ini worth it? Ungesema nini?
First of all, when I was 20, the year that I turned 20, I was just happy to have friends. I think that's like the year when I figured who are like my closest friends and who are like my inner circle. That's when I started like drawing those distinctions. But man, I was just so happy to have friends. I was just so happy to have found my people. I felt like I'm finding my people, and that was so much fun. Also, my 20s had a lot of traveling. We did that a lot. And yeah, that was fun. So what was worth it? I think I was not really looking at like the bigger picture of like, when I'm older, I'll have bills to pay, at that point it was just like, road trip, umesema ni ngapi? Sawa. Like it was just only to experience life. Also on my hobbies, like I was just like traveling a lot, like exploring a lot. So yeah, what was worth it then for me? Just experiencing life. I didn't even know this is what I was going to be doing professionally.
So basically ulienda na wave tu.
Yep.
So saizi nikikuuliza what's worth it?
Oh, peace of mind. Very important. Very, very important. I feel like I've gotten to a point where, like, if it means losing, like losing friends or meeting new people or, and learning so many experiences, like the peace of mind, like that's top of it. Like me, Gen Z premium, like, yeah, me, bana, bye, I'm out. If it's not giving peace.
Finances and peace of mind, which one comes top?
Oh, that's a funny one because recently I had to make that sort of decision, like where I was either going to be spending a lot of money on something that was going to sort of give me peace of mind and, like serene and comfort against, keeping my finances proper. And yeah, I did choose peace of mind. I was just like, yep, naeza save afu nigongwe na lori.
Okay, on hii note ya peace of mind, from duration, like let's talk about your 20s or after 18 years to this point, umekuwa na moments zenye una feel mentally uko fucked? Ama umefeel ni kama mentally uko 100? Actually better it says una feel mentally uko 100.
It's a day by day thing, because you see, every day having to figure out new things and having to learn and unlearn. There are days when you wake up, like how I look at it is I need a few balances for me to feel like, my life is balanced. So there's the spiritual, the emotional, financial, physical, and professional. So sometimes you'll have it professionally, but then your emotions are struggling in terms of your relations with people, or you'd have all the others in check, but then even with that financial in check, like it's not helping you mentally. You feel like work maybe is exhausting, like, so yeah, it's a day by day things. But yeah, definitely there are days when I'm just like, hey, wadau, tuliamka, yeah, we are doing this, okay, I guess we are doing this. But I think the bigger thing on that is learning to reach out and knowing the awareness of knowing, like, when you're having those hard days, and knowing like, okay, now I just need somebody to like help me get through this day. Yeah, somebody to check in with you constantly just to know. Yeah.
Oh. So bado jajibu swali yangu.
What was the question?
Saizi mentally una feel uko poa?
Right now, at this exact moment, hell yeah.
Leo jana?
Hell yeah, I'm living the life. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, like this weekend has just been lovely. I've been walking the tea farms in Tigoni. I have been choosing where I am. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm doing lovely.
Okay, so let me go back. Between the past 5 years, kuna moments when you feel mentally ujakuwa on point.
Oh yeah.
Like ujakuwa 100. So let's go back to your point in it. Mentally you feel ujakuwa 100. How exactly do you deal with that? Like najua umeongelea generally, like specifically. This is that moment when you're feeling messed up, either professionally, emotionally, or spiritually. How do you deal with it? Like, how have you dealt with it in the past?
So, I'll speak on like the proper, the ways that have actually served me. Because obviously there are times you react in a ways and you're just like, hey, I could have done better. But the ones that have served me, I think the first thing is I check in with myself. Like, I try and very hard try to identify the emotion, that what is exactly the thing that is bringing out this, this frustration or this like feeling like I'm in the gutters, or like, that's making me feel like I'm questioning my worth, or like, whatever is making me feel like I'm in the gutters. Because I feel like sometimes emotions are blood and like you're not exactly sure ni nini inafanya ufeel vile unafeel. So maybe you could be feeling angry, but at the end of the day, you realize it's frustration. I was frustrated at a certain thing, not necessarily angry. It's just that anger came out of because you didn't know how to deal with the frustration. So what I do is I try to like go deep, and I'm like, so what exactly? And in most times you realize it's not that the whole day is boring or annoying or like I'm having a bad day. It's just that one thing happened, and by like singling it out, I'm able to like I deal with it, and then generally my happiness is not let me say my joy is not tied to my day. So I could be feeling that I have joy and I'm happy to be alive, but happiness is tied to the small wins. So if I'm able to compartmentalize, it's easy for me to like put this small thing in a box and go like, okay, it was a shitty day, but you'll feel out in this lap, like, so I feel like those small wins, putting things in small sections, helped me get out of like the funk. So yeah, some days even just finishing that day is a win. Man, a win is a win. It's like I got through the day.
So let me ask you, support system. You feel like in life, msichana needs support system?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm like 100 a support system girly. It's very important because for me it has really come through for me personally, like in very tricky times, and like when you feel like you're having such maybe like a hard time, like because I feel support system should go both ways. Obviously, it's like when you're winning, like they should be there winning with you, and when you're having hard days, they're also there with you. So I feel especially with support system helps with checking in, and it also helps with accountability. So if you had goals that you're working to achieve today, somebody who's trying to put you in check. And if you're like going like feeling badly, there's also somebody to like, hey, it's not too bad. Also, like when you have such a close inner circle, some days you could be having such a bad day, but then since you're so involved in the other person's life and they're having a good day and you're just like, yep, we are having a good day. Like sometimes it's just like, yeah, it so helps. So I think support system is very, very important. Like at least for me, it has served me quite well.
Okay, so Ebu, so support system in this question, is it who is support system wako ni? Like who are they? Like friends,
names?
family,
okay.
That.
Okay. So
is it random people? Like so, let's say for example, for seme mimi sina support system completely. How do you foster kukua by these are support? This quantifies as a support system. How do you develop it, foster it to have something you can quantify as a support system? Ama ni kitu tu ulistumble upon ukajipata tu na support system?
I think first it's intentionality. Okay, so like 2 years back or 3 years back, me and one of my very, very close friends, we decided that our theme for that year was going to be intentionality. And we were just intentional about everything we were doing, our friendships, our, like looking at our career paths and looking at like everything. We were like putting intentionality in it and acting as each other's accountability partner. And I think through that period is when I realized even these support system, they are not, first of all, it cannot be one person. It cannot be one person who is your support system, because even they could be having a bad day and you're also having a bad day. Now who is going to be pulling each other out of whatever? It's also one person cannot serve you in every single way. At least I believe so, because you're not even in the same career path. So how can they support you professionally? Maybe finances wise you're not on the same page, or you don't agree particularly on all the, how to handle finances. So they cannot exactly, like support you in that sense. Or maybe you don't have like the same spiritual or religion, like there's just a bunch of things that not everybody agrees on. So I feel first of all is to like identify different people who your values, beliefs, and like goals and kind of ambitions are in the same direction in regarding to these different things. So like, professionally, you need a professional support system. Somebody you can talk to and have these things like you're having, somebody you can have a conversation with. Also emotionally, somebody you kind of have the same thought processes. And financially, like I just feel they are different people. So for me, this financial spiritual is how I decided to like split my life. Like those are the different branches on my tree that make me whole. So yeah, I just have different people supporting me on different things. Some of them were friends that I realized, oh, we actually have like so much in common and think about this the same way. Some of them are family who actually understand, or we're in the same phase in life and we are, figuring out life together. So yeah, just friends and family, but like not random friends, like people I've realized we have the same common beliefs, values, and
So as we finish, let me go on finances kidogo. Ebu, give me your strategy as a person on how to handle your finances.
who.
How do you approach finances?
Okay. So I think my relationship with finances or money, one of the things that I had to like work around was like the scarcity mentality, like the abundance. Like it's every day you feel like you are missing, like nika inaezaisha ama utakosa ama you need more. Like the mentality of feeling like it is always scarce. Like that was like one of the bigger things that I had to work on, just to know like hata ukipata nyingi, you'll still feel like you need nyingi and nyingi and nyingi if you have that scarcity mentality. So I just worked on it in the abundant sense of looking like, yes, I have this money, but obviously not being delusional that it's not serving everything that I need, but they're just like, gratitude and abundance of what it is serving me with, and like having so much gratitude in that.
Hapa tu pali huko. Ebu nataka kuelewa hii scarcity mentality. So uko na thao.
Yeah.
Umepata hii thao on Monday 4th of this month. Kwa akili yako there's nowhere else unaka kupata pesa for the next 30 days. Ebu niambie vile unatakuwa na scarcity mentality with regards to that.
Ni ngumu, which is why I said it is something you work on, because ni ngumu, it's tricky, like okay, ni ngumu. Some days it's just like you are alive, pia Mungu ananipimanisha like rather like what is the lesson here, like ebu nitumie textbook nitasoma, like I promise akiwa line nitasoma, but yeah, it's hard, especially like I can't speak for everyone, because especially depending on the points and your needs that you have at that exact moment, because there's somebody who could be having that 1,000 but they have like 2 kids or like a kid they need to feed, and then may just have 1,000 and it is me I'm feeding only. Like you see, like different circumstances, different situations. I think it's just like picking the gratitude in what that money can give you for that point. It's hard, but that one small thing, like just don't forget to give gratitude for it. Yeah, for just that small thing. Like of course not delusional of ignoring like the whole situation, but it's like just accepting of just that one thing, I think.
Then ebu please, like najua kama kuna kitu umeivia ni kumanage do. Ebu nipatie advice, mtu anawezaje manage do poa?
Okay.
Ama anawezaje, like si hata uniambie vile nda manage do leo ama kesho. Kuna time ulikuwa ukipiga story ukisema how hata Joshua ameongelea kwa his set, akisema ulikuwa unapiga story ukisema somebody was saying ana enough ukakuwa, but half of vitu zenye hauna enough about are things that are gonna happen to you. The things that you can actually start planning for sai.
Yeah.
So that's generally, so that's just me throwing something out there, but now that I know that's like an iota of the knowledge you have when it comes to finances. So let's just say, give me like a breakdown, a 2-minute or whatever duration you feel like going for, breakdown of how somebody can manage their finances, because up to this point finances wise sidhani uko mbaya.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think obviously I'm speaking not from a professional point of view, I'm just speaking from my own life experiences. I think the first thing that really works for me is budgeting, because budgeting and then removing whatever is not, like putting away the excess basically, because you don't necessarily have to have excess.
Was putting away the excess?
I know. I said it, I was like, yeah. But if you have excess,
I would say, man, now need to know budget. What are you budgeting for?
So I feel like budgeting, the first thing is like basic food, clothing and shelter. And then clothing, I feel like is like at the bottom of the food, clothing, and shelter, because it's like shelter, food, clothing. I mean, food and shelter, you know.
Yeah.
But clothing just hapo that bana luku si lazima upige luku. Also kuna luku cheap. Anywho, yeah, so I feel like those are the first things like you put in check, like is your food, your clothing, and those sheltered. And then now there's luxuries, like the extra things that you want to add, and other things you want to purpose on, like maybe entertainment or like leisure, like any other things. But you should do, personally, I do a day-to-day budget that I sum to a monthly budget, because obviously I'm on a monthly payroll. So my budget is like it's a 4-week budget. So I'll budget how much my food will averagely cost me, putting into account everything. And then I'll budget, obviously, rent, and then food, I mean like the clothes, but which like personally sometimes you already have like enough clothes, you necessarily don't like have to budget for that every month. At you are budgeting for new clothes, okay, like when even in your sanka, and then yeah, so those, and then like if there's any surplus of it, I now like have goals and things that I want to work towards. So if like I want an emergency, a savings thing, I have decided like there are different ways that people budget, like 3 months emergency funds, 6 months, 1 year. So you decide what works for you, then you save, whatever your monthly budget is, you do it times 3, then that is what you target for. So you can put your excess into that. Maybe there's like a trip you're saving for, you can put into that. Maybe you just want to have a nice birthday next year and you're in a stress, you save for that. And then after I've separated these my expenses, what I'm saying by remove the excess is that when you come save before you spend, because I feel like if you keep these other things, uta break the rule ya easy food, like uta overspend on things that you don't necessarily need. And then what I personally do at the end of the month is pesa yote yenye ilikuwa imebaki yote, like if like obviously you budget food like nyingi and then you didn't eat, maybe kuna siku tu uliamua dinner for breakfast for dinner, So at the end of the day, you have like small money in a baki. Si nyingi, obviously, ni kidogo, but then like you put aside all that money, and then like the next month it's like you start on zero again. So you're not saving in thousands, in millions, but if you are, wow, good for you, thank God. But for like kawaida people, you just like put aside hiyo kidogo. So haba na haba hujaza kibaba. No small money, no money is small money. Yeah, sidharau pesa ndogo. Just like
Shukran sana. Anyway, thank you very much. That was cool. So the next video that tunaanza, tunaenda kupost in 1 year.
Oh, 1 year.
In 1 year. So tunaenda kuongea purely futuristic. So if you're watching this, stay tuned for next year, the second bit of it.
Yeah.